All right. Hey, was I supposed to start first, Ruth? All right.
I think so.
All right. Hey, listen, everybody. This is the CSRN, our weekly video minutes. It's also our weekly podcast where we come to you and talk to you about some of the things that we did last week, some of the things that we're working on right now, and some of the things that we got planned in the future. We've got an awesome lineup today with Sierra Webb, and you know Sierra, all right, I do too, and also Hidmac Goolsby from the Stew. What we'll do right now, Ruth, if you don't mind, let's put up a 5-minute timer, so people can, do what they do before they log in, and let's get it started.
All righty.
All right.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
This is the CSRN Video Minutes, our weekly podcast. And hey, somebody left the music on. It had to be Jody. He's not here. He's in the green room, but that doesn't stop me from blaming him. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I use the pronouns he and him. Man, and today, where is Jody? Man, and today, what I have on is on the brown blazer today. Oh, what is Jody doing? Okay, I've got on a brown blazer today, a red sport shirt. I've got my brown rim glasses today. For those who may be visually impaired, I've got a short, close haircut. All right, I just decided not to grow out my horseshoe hairstyle today, and I'm one of the founders of CSRN, along with Jabril Bay and Mike Leonardi 7 years ago. And Jody and I, we talk about this a lot. 7 years ago, just a couple of ordinary people decided that you don't have to be pastors, politicians, or preachers or professionals to speak truth to power. And they had an event at the Doug. They asked me to help plan, and here we are 7 years later. And also, this is the home of Black Lives Matter and Justice or Else. And as always, I'm dedicated to respecting and protecting and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. And I have not only Jody with me, all right, this week. Man, look at his background, all right. I think I probably own most of those stickers, and I've got some of those crystals. Hey, so Ruth, I know you got the mission statement. I've got the guiding principles. Do we want to bring Jody? You want Jody kind of to sandwich him and said, "Hey, Jody, introduce yourself. What is all of that in the back? All right, and what do you have on? All right. So what's up, Jody?
All righty, I get to talk now.
Oh,
What's up,
okay.
everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth. I'm at home. You probably see this a lot in my videos. This is my work. I recently started putting up there along with some other creators and stuff because I'm not just an artist, but I am an investor into the art community. So my house is covered in books and artworks and statues and other stuff people have created. When I do vendor events, I buy theirs too, even if I don't sell nothing, because it's all about creating the dream. And this is kind of the process of the last couple of years. But for all the people out there watching, and for those of you that may be just listening, I am its own big brown bear of a man that's covered in tattoos and homes and journey of my life, like the illustration man for those books we had to read, my generation. I decided I did not want to just read somebody else's story, but live my own. And I illustrated it through my work and my skin and all that other stuff. But my pronouns would be him, he, and we, because this doesn't just happen by itself. It's a lot of negotiating and talking to people and understanding that their life may not look like yours, but you should still appreciate it no matter what, because you have no idea the struggles they went through to make it beautiful.
Well,
Other than that, I am wearing not my shirt today, but my hat, because now my artwork, we can get a little close on that. It is not
okay.
a clothing
That's
brand.
a drip check.
So
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna be doing this to a lot of people every now and then, because once you start wearing your own brands and your own styles, I will invest in people. But I learned from comic, or went to a Comic Con. I can't dilute my brand by wearing yours if we haven't had some type of agreement.
Okay. All right.
So,
Okay. All right.
yeah.
Don't run with that. All right. Thank you, Jody. Hey, let's bring Ruth on. Ruth, can you introduce yourself? You've got one of those dynamic shirts. Well, I don't want to be doing that. That's on you. So who are you? What are you wearing?
Hello, everyone. I am so happy to be here for another week. My name is Ruth Leonard, and I am the administrative lead for the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo. I have my hair in an afro with a small braid in the front, and I'm wearing tortoiseshell frame glasses. I am a brown skin complected black woman, and I'm wearing a gray t shirt that actually has the names of some iconic pioneers of African American history. The front says Sojourner, Garrett, Phyllis, Frederick, and Edmonia, and on the back are their last names, which would be Truth, Morris, Wheatley, Douglas, and I am blanking on Edmonia's last name. But once again, I'm so happy to be here, and I think, Brother Washington, we can jump into our guiding principle and mission statement if we are all ready.
We are all ready.
Okay.
All right. So, hey, did you want me to do the guiding principles and you do the
That'll
mission
work.
statement? All right. You
That'll
want to
work.
go first and I'll go second?
Yep, that can be the thing that happens.
All right.
Alrighty, so our mission statement. We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often, police brutality goes without consequence and accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive community based events that help to foster self development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable to their sworn duties, be they politicians, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, regardless of creed or class or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
All right. And I wanted to say this for anyone. Let me double check our audio. I've got someone in the chat that says that they can't hear the audio. Let's double check and see
Okay.
what did I possibly do wrong. Jody, can you check
I
and
can't
see if
because
you?
I only have my phone.
All right, let me check. All right, hey family,
I can
this.
check.
All right, because this is
I only
live.
have my phone.
All right, let me check. All right, hey family,
I can
this.
check.
Okay, I got audio. All right, thank you, Anika. She says it's good now. So
Okay.
we just thanks
All
Anika
right,
for
Nika.
all. Yeah. All right, we'll be driving out the spot and getting her back for that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to read our guiding principles. This is the thing that's that's kept us here. And these are our CSRN guiding principles. All Black lives matter. Queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, differently able Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe.
And that means one who changes a thing, one who makes a thing happen. Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist, think beyond the possible. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe.
Principal struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe.
Love, self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, essential, and intentional practice. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement in telling their stories directly. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe.
All right, listen, we're going to take a short break, Ruth, and we're going to come back with Sierra Webb, and we're going to ask her just who she is. I mean, a lot of us know, and then there's going to be a lot of people that don't know. So, as Biggie said, if you don't know, okay, you know what he said.
No.
All right, yeah, okay. I didn't want to say other stuff. All right, so hey, tough. This is the CSRN Video Minutes, our weekly podcast. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent, and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN Video Minutes, our weekly podcast. And listen, I think that they have the human library. I think Sierra was a part of that. I saw her posting about it. It was in my time feed. We're going to bring up Sierra to see what's with that. All right, Sierra, how you feeling?
Good. How are you all today?
Oh, we're just fine. Listen, Sierra, thank you for being here. You know, we were flipping a coin. Who we gonna bring? Oh no! And of course, you know, I was like, man, Sierra, dog. You know, let's bring Sierra on. You know, all right. It didn't actually go like that, just in my mind. Everybody that's watching this now, and people that are going to be streaming this later, who are you? What do you do? And what motivates you to do all the things that you do in the community?
Well, as you said, my name is Sierra Webb. I do a couple of different things in the community. One that everybody may be familiar with or maybe has seen me around is that I work at the library, specifically at Mott Branch. Go Mott Branch, Mott Conda. I'm the supervisor there at Mott. And Brother Washington brought up the Human Library, which was an absolutely amazing experience. We're hoping to bring it back in the fall. It was a collaboration with the Human Relations Commission and the library. The Human Library is exactly what it sounded like. It was an opportunity to check out people's stories that were kind of like books. And the goal of the program of the event was to reduce bias. You hear things like, don't judge a book by its cover. Well, how do we actively do that? And the Human Library is just one event that's on there. I am extremely community oriented, not just through working through the library. So as you see, we're scrolling through my Facebook here, you'll see tons of things going on in the community, whether I'm directly involved or not. One thing that I really wanted to touch on before I go into more about what I've got going on and what I'm a part of is Brother Washington's comment about how, where you were just, CSRN came to be because it was just a group of ordinary people that said there's a demand for something in the community and we need to figure out how to provide that. And that's exactly why I'm at where I'm at today. I tell everybody that I meet that I do my best to wake up and walk every single day with intention and purpose. And that means growing personally, but also, you can't you can't just grow on your own. You need the support of the community. You need the support of your loved ones, of your coworkers, of the children, of the youth in the community. And this is how we best learn. I was very privileged and blessed to have learned that at a very young age. I started that with church. I belong to First Unitarian Church of Toledo over on Glendale. I've been going there for over 10 years. So that Unitarian Universalist background really is what strengthened my volunteer roots and allowed me to go into a lifetime work of being a public servant. So with that being said, I have a couple things that I wanted to talk about today. Of course, I mentioned working at the library, and we have tons and tons and tons of programs going on. You can find what programs or events might be at your library in your community, in your immediate neighborhood at toledolibrary.org/events. Here at Mott, I've got a couple that I, of course, have to shout out. Today and every second Tuesday of the month is our open mic. It's family oriented, and we usually pull in, 50, 60 people every single month. And you can get up and just be creative, dance, sing, do spoken word, poetry, whatever feels like you have on your heart. And so that's a good one. We have tons of teen programs coming up. We love having the youth in our space, and it's one of our top priorities. And lots of adult programs too. One specifically that's been really successful is called Stepping into Wellness. It's on Saturdays, ran by our wonderful children's librarian, Dre. She works here at Mott. If you come in, you'll know her very well. A few other things that I'm involved in. I sit on the Human Relations Commission. I am the co-chair of Stop the Violence with Mr. Gutta David Ross, and Miss Zara Collins. The beautiful thing about the Human Relations Commission is that it was my first effort into getting, really, really involved in the community. And I've learned a lot with being on this commission, trying to start, maintain, and collaborate on all those grassroots efforts that really are reaching the community and allows for true impact. And so I've come on to Stop the Violence with Dave and with Zara, and our effort is really to be engaged as much as possible with the community. And one thing that I found in sitting on Stop the Violence is that there was a need to support our survivors of violence. And so one thing that I started that we're working on really, really establishing right now is our Survivor Support Alliance. The Survivor Support Alliance works to provide community support and connect survivors of violence to immediate emotional, mental, and or financial resources. I have a standing, what I call safe space every first Monday of the month at Mott Branch from 6 to 7:30. And in that space, we work to feel some of our feelings. I feel as if we've become extremely desensitized to a lot of the violence that's happening in our communities. It's so rampant in our media, and it's all that we talk about sometimes. And we, in particular, our youth, are very desensitized to it and don't often realize that we might be in survival mode for some of these things that we've experienced or had happened to us. And so I found that this was a need that I needed as a survivor myself. And so I started pulling people together to meet on these Mondays. And we have art supplies, we have snacks, we have refreshments, just to start thinking about how we feel in the moment, talk about being present, talk about how we find those resources that we need to continue to touch in with our inner selves. Like I said, I try to walk every day with intention and purpose, and doing that inner work is so vital to be able to then turn around and offer that work to others. Another thing that I wanted to bring up is I sit on the Opera Advisory Committee, and the opera that's coming next is La Traviata. And so if you haven't experienced the opera, I highly suggest you go to the website, toledoopera.org, and take a look at La Traviata and consider signing up to try View Then Voice. It is an opportunity for the opera to pay for your ticket, to have the experience of a first-time opera attendee, and then come together with a group of folks who are also first-time for the first time experiencing the opera, to just talk about your experience and things that could have made your experience better, or how we can get more people in the community engaged with the opera. So you'll see on the screen there that La Traviata is coming April 22nd and 24th. You can buy a ticket, or if you do View Them Voice, then you can get a ticket for free. So I got to be a part of View Them Voice. I thought it was amazing. I had never experienced the opera before. I was so enticed that I then joined a committee to talk about all the wonderful things the opera does. They're very committed to making sure that they're involving all different people in different communities and expanding on what they do. So that is a big part of what's going on in the community. I think it is massively important to impart myself in any learning opportunity that I can come across. And so these are some of the things that I've taken on, some type of role on a committee or commission, and efforts to make sure that I'm living out those intentions and purposes, not just talking about them, but being about them. And also, just like some of your bylaws are, to hold leadership and others accountable to the missions that they are promoting into the community. I really, really, really value community engagement and collaboration. And so if you see me around, I'm trying to pull in every single entity possible that have a similar mission, and teach everybody and be that role model that says, hey, we can do this together. We don't need to, you might hear the word often, any meeting you go to, reinvent the wheel. And it's, you talk about it, but how are we going to implement these things? So if you ever see me in the back, I usually have a notepad, feverishly taking notes. So then I can turn around and say, these are the action items. This is how we're going to get this done. I sometimes feel like I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm learning as I go. And it's through some of the wonderful people like Brother Washington and Ruth and Jody, who those small interactions mean the world to people like me who just simply want to be involved and find yourself caught up really, really quick. Brother Washington reminded me that sometimes you got to learn to say no. And I'm at the stage now where I'm starting to realize, okay, this is where I can put my time, but it won't take away from me. I'm learning how to build myself back up from all of the trauma and the things that I needed to unlearn from being in survival mode, and learning how to show the community that you can come back from that it is important to focus on your holistic health and well-being, to then truly be able to be a part of the community and bring people together. So that's my little spiel. Should I have said anything more or less, Brother Washington?
Oh, absolutely. You should have said more, but no. All right. One of the things that I think that we pride ourselves on is self-care, because there's some days that we go off the rails. All right. And you won't know if you're off the rails until everybody's looking at you like, Brother Washington, come on, why would you even post that? Post what? Oh my God, let's take that down. So what is it that you do? I mean, and we do have some missteps, and even in our guiding principles, we talk about self-care. What are some of the things that you do to bring yourself back to balance?
Well, it seems like a trying game right now. It depends on the day, sometimes the week. I assure myself that no matter what, I have at least biweekly therapy with my therapist. She's an excellent person. We've been together for almost 3 years now, and we, as needed, will up how much we meet, the length of our sessions, so I can hold myself accountable to make sure that I'm where I need to be mentally and emotionally. Because when you're someone like me, you're in the community, go, you don't even realize that you're in survival mode And so you sit down with somebody and they ask you how you feel, and you're like, man, I haven't thought about that in like 2 weeks. And so that's one thing. Right now, I'm at weekly therapy sessions with my therapist. And that has helped tremendously, to even learn about some of the things that I want to implement into my life that will help in that overall mental health and wellness aspect. I'm a yogi. I do as much yoga as I can. But it's difficult sometimes to know how and when to implement things because I'm a mother of three. So I very quickly, I might say I want to get up every day and do yoga, but my kids say otherwise. So I've been trying to nail down some of those things like weekly therapy, quiet time for myself, and being outward and honest about where I'm at in my journey, I think is one of the biggest things that have been helpful, particularly on, for example, social media platforms, because it gives you that reassurance that sometimes you might not get when you tend to keep things inside. And sometimes just sharing with your therapist isn't enough. So I learned from all of the millions of self-help and emotional work audiobooks that I've been listening to, which download your Overdrive app for free with your library card. And you can listen to all of the amazing things that I help with myself that helps myself to keep me on track. And I think that some of the things that I've learned that has been extremely helpful to me is be as open and honest and unapologetically yourself as you possibly can be. And you'll find that you have more people relate to you and you relate to more people than you realize. And you're not alone in your journey. So I think that finding ways to connect with folks, even if they're not people that I see on a daily basis, or if they're just artists, authors, what have you, recognizing that, this person went through a similar situation as me and I them, and we're all just learning together. So I think that being honest about where you're at in your healing journey, in your mental health or emotional state, is extremely vital. We're good at lying to ourselves about how happy and healthy we are until
That's
we're
right.
stuck with ourselves for a quiet moment. Then you start to realize. So that's been one of my biggest things is outward honesty.
All right. And I'm glad that,
So,
go ahead, Jody.
well, I'll let you go first, and then I have a couple questions.
All right, great. I'm glad that we're in a time that we're normalizing getting help. All right. I come from a generation that we keep that stuff out. I mean, we hide it. We keep it in, we keep it under wraps. We don't talk about it. And I'm so glad that I'm a part of this movement now of talking about getting help. It's difficult to do this work without getting that type of help. And I've seen a lot of us, including myself, that man, we run. I keep saying off the tracks, but man, it shows. It definitely shows. My question for you is, how important is it for the community to be involved, and especially the library and what the library has to offer now?
Almost vital. I think that it is entirely a collective effort to personal, individual mental health, but also as a community, our overall health. It's impossible these days to not hear or know about what's going on in the streets. It's impossible to not hear about what happens behind the closed doors of the schools. And if there was a shooting or a stabbing or a fight that broke out, it is constantly going. And we are getting these up. I agree that even when I was growing up, it was not necessarily normalized to hear about all of the stuff that was going on,
Right.
and we didn't have direct access to it all the time. And so I think that it's inescapable, which means that we all have to work together. We all have to be honest with each other. We all have to hold each other accountable. And who is all, like quite literally every single one of
That's
us.
right.
I think that we are still very divided as a city and as a community. And I think there are many of us who are working very hard to remove some of those barriers that we've built in between existing entities and sometimes even individuals. And which is why I've attached myself to some of those community entities that say, hey, you really are out here doing the work. And it is important that this is advocated for and blown up in the world, because, you know, it's hard. How often do you see news about the really amazing things that happen on a daily basis that are working and to combat some of the negativity and the wrongs that are done in our community and our city? You don't see it as much as you do the violence or the negative stuff. And so one of my missions is to be a role model, to make sure that we are continuously every day actively connecting these entities and individuals, and two, promoting it. Who's doing great work, and how can we accentuate that? How can we make sure that the next time you have this program or event, you have double the amount of attendees?
That's
And
right.
I don't need anything to do with it. I just want to promote it because that's what you deserve over there, you know? And how can we work together next time? And so I think that it is extremely vital. And if we don't get together and work to continue moving forward together, we're going to keep losing our young people. It's going to be younger than 13, 14, 15. It's going to be 10, 11,
That's right.
12. And we won't get a grasp on this so-called welcoming community that we're striving towards.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jody.
Now, so because we know each other, so I ain't got those questions. It was great seeing you at the Human Library, and it's great seeing you all the time. I think we saw each other last month when I just came back from Survivor Speak in Columbus.
Yep.
Yeah, and I did not know about your open mics. What day was that again?
The second Tuesday of the month. So the next
I'm gonna
today
have
was
to.
today was 1. So the next one will be May 10.
What time is it from?
4 to 5.
4 to 5. I think I'm gonna try to come in next month, depending on how baseball season goes. But
Love to have you.
I do also want to extend, like, I know it's difficult being a bridge and trying to do all this stuff, but then remember to press buttons. But if you do get a chance when you got programs going on, tag us in it or tag me and I'll share it over, because um, that is the purpose of us. I know a lot of people see us like, oh, y'all the protest group and angry. No, we are community solidarity, which means
And,
we are the
and,
bridge to everything. And
and
we're the teeth. As my saying is, respect the smile or understand why I show my teeth. So we have our
Ooh,
teeth, but we smile. And if you do stick around for the whole show or you get to rewatch it, leave links and stuff, because I can't do all the buttons right now. But I think I sent it to you. Trigger warning. That's today's 5 minutes of heat. So yeah, even with that, if there's any way I can help out, let me know. I know I'm like super busy, but I wrote a book on it. It's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life is trying to help people understand their trauma so they don't create traumas for generations.
thank you. Absolutely. And I so appreciate that. And I wish I'm not in a space where I can offer that for anybody quite yet, but I'll be there one day where I've got it all figured out what my role is, and I'm able to commit in a way that others seem to
you
I have
trust
to
me.
learn to say
Nobody
no. I'm
has it
so
all
busy
figured out.
right now.
Well,
Nobody has it all figured out. I don't even know
well,
what I'm
I
getting
wouldn't
up
go
and
that.
doing tomorrow for sure. But
Right.
you're trying. Yeah,
I am. I really am.
it's so much
Yeah.
like with yogis and meditation and all this big trend of let's monetize healing.
Mm,
It's a process, a journey that you go through. You're not going to be able to sit on the mountain with your arm in the air, because there's some yogis that do that, and just have all the answers. Every day you're going to learn something new. Every day you may meet somebody who is even on the same plane as you, but you
mm,
have that one piece that could help them keep moving forward instead of
right.
keeping them still. So don't
Right.
ever think you're not experienced enough to help someone.
I love that because it is a massive learning experience. I consider myself a healer, and I never really knew what that meant until I started going to therapy. And then we started digging into the childhood trauma, and we started understanding why I even think that I'm a healer, and really differentiating myself from my work and who I am. And I think that's exactly what you're saying, Jody. And this is a learning process for me. And I find that it's hard to, when somebody asks, who are you? Tell me about yourself. I say all the things that I do. And they're like, wait a minute, I asked about you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not just the things that I do. I'm not just the committees that I sit on. And so that's been a massive part of the learning experience and part of the healing process, I think, too.
I think that both of you could probably have one of those healing podcast things, because I've started feeling better already just listening.
You know what? Don't say that, because me and Jody are go-getters, and all of a sudden we're gonna have another podcast popping up.
I would subscribe.
2 weeks.
Yeah, all right, Jody. I'm either gonna feel better or I'm gonna start crying. All right.
But then after you cry, you'll feel better. So
you know what? Cry right now, Brother Washington. It's the time.
All right. All my cool points out the window. All right, yeah. Absolutely. All right. Hey, listen, we're coming up on the time that we're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back. If I don't see Brother Headmack in the green room, but if he's not there, there's some things that I think that are on Ruth's purview. We've got an election coming up. We've got a lot of things coming up that I really think that we might be able to dig into. So is it okay, Ruth, if we take a short break?
I just want to say one more thing. Thank you, Sierra, for all that you do. I know a lot of times the work that we do goes without any sort of recognition. And so I just want to say personally, thank you for all that you've done with the library. I was able to attend the Human Library last weekend. It was a phenomenal event. I can't wait to come back, or for it to come back next fall. And also, I'm super excited about the opera. Okay, and how do you pronounce it again?
La Traviata.
La Traviata.
Okay, I think you probably insulted every Italian person out here. All right.
Yes.
All right. Okay. All right. I got you, Ruth. All right.
And if I could just respond, I want to say thank you all for having me. What you don't know is the main reason I ever even knew about CSRN was because I went to the 2020 Black Lives Matter protests, and I was out there 8 months pregnant, holding my 2 signs, walking down.
Oh my God.
And I heard y'all talking, and I saw all your posts, and I immediately started interacting in the community. So it was seriously revolutionary for the work that I do and how I show up in the community. And I continue to learn. And when Brother Washington invited me, I said, wait a minute. I watch the podcast to hear what y'all have to say, and you're asking me to come on. So
yes, of course.
I'm so thankful for the opportunity. I want to shout out my family, because when we talk about mental health and wellness, who's there but our immediate family? My fiance Shane, my kids, my mom, and my family, and of course all the amazing people I get to work with along the way. So thank you.
Oh, yay!
Oh man, okay, all right. I don't know what to do now. Oh, all right.
Weren't you going to cut to a break?
Oh, yeah, we were. You were. Yeah. Okay, all right. Family, thank you, Sierra, and please be open to coming back and talking about all of the amazing things. And while you're on, our whole podcast is being ran by the free hotspots that the library is giving out.
I was wondering. I meant to say that to you, Jody, because you talked about your phone. I was like, do you have a mobile hotspot?
And so, Jody,
I gotta come down and get one.
You gotta get one.
I got some work to do.
I would not know of this if Gutter Dave hadn't posted.
Yes.
And I thought immediately, man, and I tagged Jody. I tagged you in it. I'm like, hey, this is it. We've been praying and meditating and doing all that stuff that Jody does. All right. He even brought out some extra crystals. So they work, Jody. The crystals work. All right. We got a hotspot. We got free Wi-Fi. All right.
Okay, that's beautiful. That's good. And then the more extra crystals. There we go.
Right.
We can do the crystal filter.
All the good energy.
When you hear that sound, that means it's time for us to take a break.
That's right. Yeah, phone calls now.
All right. Yeah, I guess so. All right. If it's Red Center, tell them I'm not here. All right. All right, okay, come on now. Shout out to Reddit
Oh my
Center.
We'll
God.
take a break before Brother Washington breaks.
Yeah, shout out to Reddit Center for robbing us all blind. But anyway,
Hey,
hey,
this
listen,
ain't
this is the CSRN Video Minutes, our weekly podcast. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. This is the CSRN Video Minutes, our weekly podcast. And listen, before we bring Ruth back on, I don't know, where did she go? Bring her back.
Okay.
Bring her back. All right, all right. Hey, listen, I just wanted to let everybody know that today our Kwanzaa word or from the Nguzo Saba is Ujima. That's collective work and responsibility. And what does that mean? It means to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and solve them together. And for all of my Muslim brothers and sisters that are celebrating and participating and practicing Ramadan Mubarak, hang on in there, not even water. And we see you out there. But so for all the brothers and sisters that are practicing this month of Ramadan, what's up? Assalamu alaikum, and all of that. Now back to the what we're doing. Ruth, we've got Hit Mac coming on.
something
He
going
hasn't
on.
made it. What did you say, Jody?
Something
Okay,
with
nothing. Say that again, Jody.
at least on my end, I can hear like bad reverb.
Okay, let's see what the problem
Can you
is.
hear that, Ruth?
No, I don't have any reverb on my end.
Okay, all right. So let's act like there's no reverb. All right. Hey, listen, we're back.
Maybe
CSR.
it's just
Okay, I'm trying to do my little thing, Jody. All right. Hey, we're back. This is CSRN Video Minutes, man. Hey, listen,
We're
Ruth.
never gonna get an Emmy.
Yeah. Who said that? I won't win an Emmy. I won't win a Tony. Oh, okay. Sorry, KRS One on. I think You Must Learn. All right, but
We're
it's
in that
okay.
category.
All right.
your one.
Ooh. All right.
What?
Okay.
He
All right.
definitely called him KFC too, but that's
I
okay.
know. It's Ramadan on every
You
Muslim.
cannot blame everything on Ramadan, Brother
Look,
Washington.
on every Muslim's mind is KFC. All right.
Oh my gosh.
We need
Okay.
to stop fronting, brother.
I'm gonna log out, log in.
Brother Abdul,
Okay.
you already know. All right. But anyway, hey, y'all.
Oh my gosh. Well, I can give a quick overview of a few different things. So early voting has begun, and you can see our early vote poster. This actually came as a mailer with one of the political candidates. I believe it was someone running for commissioner, so probably either Lisa Sabecki or Gary Byers.
Right.
But the early vote, so those are the positions that are up for election for this round. For Lucas County, I should say, we're looking at county commissioner, and the county commissioner makes a lot of big decisions. So you should be aware of who is running. I believe also a gentleman with the last name Hood is also running for county commissioner. But the early voting dates are April 5th through 8th. I'm sorry, that's already passed. April 11th through 14th, you can vote from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Right.
18th through the 22nd, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. April 25th through the 29th, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. On April 30th, it's 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. May 1st is 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. May 2nd is 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And all of those locations are going to be at the Early Vote Center, which is located at 1301 Monroe Street, Toledo, Ohio, 43604. Election day, the official election day is May 3rd, 2022. And if you are not familiar with your polling location, you can visit vote.org to find your polling place.
All right, awesome. And also the brother's name that's also running for commissioner is Mike Hood. Michael Hood. Yes. And Michael Hood has been a part of the struggle in politics for years. Okay. Others may have been under the radar because he has been campaigning in the Springfield Holland area. All right, okay. To be part of the township board of trustees and things like that. So they had also contacted us and said, "Hey, look, we're not trying to get an endorsement, but can Mike come on and just talk about himself?" I'm like, "Yeah, we ain't hard to find, So, so he is a good brother. It's a black man, maybe a little bit younger than I am. Okay. And I'm sure he'll appreciate me saying that. All right. And, but yeah, he loves his community. He's about the work, and yeah, I think that people would definitely like to hear what he has to say. Hey, before we even move any further, I want to bring Jody back on to see if he has his issues together. Okay. And if he does, we're close to that time that we may do some loose ends and get ready for 5 minutes of heat.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm good now. It doesn't have the echo. It was saying I should put headphones in. So I just started it, technology and all that stuff, working off your phone. I got to go get that hotspot.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm telling you, the day that I went to the library, I'm always have a chip on my shoulder. I'm kind of cynical, thinking that there's a certain angle, and that might be the death of me, but hey, it is what it is. So I get to the library, and I wish I knew I wish I knew the gentleman's name at the library. I would shout him out at Kent Branch. And I came up, I asked about it. He put it on the table. Here it is. Here's what you have to do. Just sign here, take it with you. Nice. I'm like, okay, so is there going to be some people that's going to accost me once I walk? Like, no, Mr. Washington, his brother Washington. All right, whatever. No, it's not going to. That's not going to happen.
It's going to be like that SNL Amazon store skit.
Right. So you keep it.
I am getting a hotspot because someone gave it to me at the library.
Right. So you keep it for 21 days. Here's how it works, family. You keep it for 21 days. After 21 days, call the library, say, "Hey, look, I want it reactivated." Keep it for 21 more days. Call the library, say, "Hey, look, I want to activate it." Keep it for 21 more days. All right. And then after that third 21 day cycle, take it back, check it out again. It's that simple. And we need everybody to get one that needs one, because it shows that it's a need for it. Mm-hmm. If we lay back and say, "Hey, I got Wi-Fi on my phone, I don't need to do that. I'm going to have choppy video like Jody." No, come on. It ain't like that. Oh, I'm sorry. That was on the script. That's what she wrote. All right. So, family, go to your
make sure add some stuff in the phone.
Go to the library, pick up your free hotspot. It runs on the T-Mobile system. These are 10 gig, 5G. Our whole podcast is running on it right now. And we do not have the same breaks as we do, Jody, as what we were using before. And I'm not going to get on St. Martin de Porres Wi-Fi, all right, because they're our friends. But anyway, please, family, go out and get one.
Okay, and actually, I do want to kind of backtrack. I want to backtrack a bit and just give kind of a broader rundown of the upcoming election. So as you can see, there are multiple items that are up on the election. So the ballot measure, I think that is super important. You may have seen the black and yellow signs. The Lucas County, Ohio issue 3. It is a property tax renewal for mental health and drug addiction services. We've seen what has happened uh, when spaces closed
Right.
that were primarily there in order to help people who were in crisis, and how there was a mad dash and a scramble. We want to avoid that having to happen again. As far as I know, this is a tax renewal, so nothing will change. And it's, I believe, $1 for every $10,000 valuation of your home. So if you have a home that's worth $40,000, I believe that's just $4 every year that goes towards mental health and drug addiction services. Also, I just went to ballotopedia.org and I did a ballot lookup for my address. You can see that there is the U.S. House District that is up for election. There is the U.S. Senate that is up for election. And we have, of course, the incumbent, Marcy Kaptur, who has been there since when was when and what was what.
What?
But also we see other candidates like Beth Deck, Teresa Gavrone, J.R. Majewski, Craig Rydell. Those are all members of the Republican Party. Morgan Harper is running for the U.S. Senate, as well as Tracy Johnson, Tim Ryan, Matt Dolan. And once again, you have the governor of Ohio who is up for election. The current incumbent is Mike DeWine. You have the Ohio Secretary of State, who is that position is also up. The Lieutenant Governor of Ohio, Toledo's own Teresa Fetter, is running for the Democratic Party. Cheryl Stevens is a running mate for the Democratic Party as well. You have the Attorney General, the Ohio Treasurer. All these people make decisions that directly affect you, whether you realize it or not. So
That's
it
right.
doesn't matter whether or not they are in these positions of power. The state auditor, the Ohio Supreme Court. Really quickly, shout out to Ketanji Jackson Brown, for being amazing and intelligent and wonderful, and being on the Supreme Court and being the first Black woman on the Supreme Court.
That's right.
Then you also have the Ohio Supreme Court, another Ohio Supreme Court position, and then the Ohio Supreme Court Chief Justice. So these are all things that you can vote for in the May 3rd election. The May 3rd election is the election that used to be for Lucas County. It used to be in, I believe, September. And we voted last November to change that to May. So now you have your early election in May and your general election in November.
Right. That's what's up. That's what's up. Hey, Ruth. And that's some information that we should share next week too. And I'm going to look that info up, because most people think that we're either voting for the governor or issues.
Right.
And no one's thinking beyond that. So I'm glad that you shared that. Did you want to take a short break and come back with Jody? 5 minutes of heat, and then we're gonna close it on.
I got loose ends.
Oh, my, you know what? I'm telling you, the way they have this stuff written out in the script.
I'll be outside sometime.
No, Brother Washington. It's Ramadan's fault.
Yeah, my fault. I forgot my line.
Come on now, you know your line.
If it wasn't for me being so hungry, I wouldn't have.
There we go.
Did that. All right.
So, and not to be too long, but it was an eventful weekend. Just to go over some of the stuff that is awesome in Toledo for the people that say there's never nothing to do. We had EcoFest happen at the Handmade Toledo, where a lot of people came down, a lot of vendors. There was all kinds of information. I went to that, and I promise I'm going to be getting that video out very soon. I just got to catch up with some stuff. So there was EcoFest. We had the Human Library. I actually got several of the library books, or the people, as you can say, checked out. I can't find it in my mess over here right now. But it was a beautiful experience. I have a lot of photo and video for that I'll be uploading and everything. And one of it that I'm very, very happy and proud to be a part of was Toledo's AIGA. Did I just say that wrong? Yeah, AIGA. I did say it right. They just had their first art gallery since 2020, and I was very honored to be one of 18 artists in Ohio, out of all of Ohio, that got picked to showcase his artwork. It was a 2-day art
Art gallery.
gallery. Okay. And shout out to all the artists. Shout out to the musician that was there. That video is going to be up. And
Awesome.
yeah, a lot of also the Clark sisters came here. I'm not sure who they are exactly, but it seemed to be very
What?
good at Mount Pilgrim and stuff like that. So it brought a lot of people out. I know that was
What?
discussing the Stop
Did
the Violence. And,
No, we're not going to
no,
speed past the fact that you don't know who the Clark sisters are.
Your black card is in the balance. Your black card,
what-
Joe, is hanging in the balance.
wow, I'm a Buddhist. Like people should know this by now.
So,
I was
No,
raised a
no,
certain
no,
way, but
no,
I
no,
don't watch TV.
no,
I meet
no.
independent artists. So
have you
anybody
ever
that is
listened
like
to the
big,
radio?
not anymore, not like
Okay.
15 years since I was on
Okay,
it.
they were on the radio 16 years
Okay.
ago.
Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna
Well,
have
I know
You know
it was
what?
very good because I saw Danetta, she was there. I believe I saw Sunshine. I saw some other people doing lives while I was doing my art gallery, where I was making sure to bridge some interconnected areas and get some people from LA and New York investing in our local artists. But I saw it and I mentioned it. Some people saw it,
Okay.
didn't even mention it.
I think we're gonna hold a protest in front of your house. So everybody bring your signs. All right, bring your
Hey, I need
signs.
some more publicity. I'll put some hats and shirts out for everybody.
All right, that'll work. That'll work. Okay. I'm gonna just put that in the bless your heart category right there. All right. Bless his heart. To
Hey,
be
I'm sorry. I'm honest,
young.
and I will never tell somebody that I know who
Okay.
they are or that I support them if I
Okay.
haven't.
All right. If that worked. Okay. All right. All right. Much love. We're just messing with you, but we're not.
I know, but for the audience too, this is good because a lot of people come up to me, especially now. They're like, "Oh, you be all these places and you do all this stuff, and do you?" I'm like, I be all these places. I do all this stuff. Like one post can take me 2 hours, and all you saw was 5 pictures. A 30-second clip for me because I don't like having somebody else's logo, shout out to TikTok or whatever it is y'all use, on my videos. So 30 seconds takes me 3 hours to edit and figure out how that's supposed to look.
Okay, Jody. We're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna let you slide with that right there. Okay, all right, that's what's up. Hey Ruth, we're gonna take a short break. We're gonna come back with 5 minutes of heat. All right, so you're gonna experience what we call trigger warning. All right, so stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call Digital Edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
All right, we are back. We're back. This is the time that we conclude our podcast for the day. And instead of closing out with a gavel or something like that, we have what we call creative expression. We call it 5 minutes of heat. And Jody has been our spoken word expert for all of these years. And we thank you, Jody, for lending your skill set, all right, and sharing your skill set with everyone. Hey, what do we have for today?
You said it right before the break. It's a piece called Trigger Warning. It is number 23 out of the Childhood Trauma series. Also, before I read this, shout out to you, Ruth. I know I missed last week because of opening day and stuff like that. And I told you at the Human Libraries, but congratulations on all the stuff you're doing behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, in the classroom. And all of that is amazing.
All right.
Appreciate
And I second that, Jody. Yes, sir. That's a wonderful sister. Wonderful.
Appreciate it.
So Trigger warning. I read this in New York last night. Let's begin peace. And it comes in waves, torrential downpours of terrifying things crashing against this barrier, this structure, the safe place I thought I built. Wave after wave crashing against the sanity I escaped into, crumbling and eroding away the impenetrability I thought I once had, revealing cracks and foundations I left too long and thought I could cover up with something distracting. And it comes when you become too confident, drawing you deeper and deeper into your triggers and traumas that you once knew how to deal with, stripping away coping mechanisms and leaving you in a panic state, but knowing if you gasp for air, you'll drown. So you hold on tighter to that last burning breath, struggling to reach the surface because a whisper could kill you, and all you want to do is be loud as you reach to breach the surface of what has dragged you beneath its influence. And it comes when things are calm. You see the still waters and think that just beneath the surface, there might be something worth reaching for. The treasures that others say they have found by digging deep within themselves and pulling out miracles. But every time you go in, you get bit and lose another part of yourself trying to struggle through this endless sea of inconsistency. Where they find dolphins, you find sharks. While you were busy surviving through your traumas and nightmares that you grew up to fight, they had imaginary friends and consistent circles of people to protect them their whole life. And it comes in waves, pulling you closer to the edge of insanity, tearing away the fragile layers of reality that shape up your identity as you watch people who were once very close and held strong ties to the shores you believed you could live on forever suddenly disappear and let you drift further away. Sometimes it's a smell, a place, name, photo, or even a song that might play in your mind as you reminisce about the memories that take you down these tidal waves of isolation and leave you contemplating if you should just let the current take you away. While the sea might be full of fish, there's only one you, only one living being on the planet that you have to be honest with and accept accountability for all actions you take when these uncontrollable tsunamis try and wreck your life. And it comes when you've held that smile too long, knowing you deserve to cry, let out all those unpacked things that you no longer need to let hold weight on your life and your soul and breathe. Stop holding your breath on things that do not give you life and grasp tightly to those that bring you back from the brink. And it won't let you go until you're ready to face whatever is stealing the precious time you could be healing. And you could be surrounded in a room full of people, isolated in your own mind by emotions you are unwilling to deal with because they come in waves, unseen, unexpected, unrelenting, and the perfect storm to stop you from moving forward, unable to truly connect to someone new. Because past reflections of your trauma might trigger something that will have you reliving that moment of loss and abandonment the entire conversation, holding back tears because normal is better than being labeled emotional, better than being told you'll be fine, it's okay. Because in the back of your mind, you know this person is just one more episode from walking away and tired of picking up the pieces because you can't hold it together with the residual glue you have left. And it comes in waves. Please, Please withstand the storm because you are very valuable. And peace.
All right. Thank you, Jody. And that's trigger warning. All right.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, brother. Thank you. And as always, glad to have everyone here. And we'll be here next week. However, on May 3rd, the day of the election, we won't have a podcast.
Yep.
Trying to promote everyone to go out and vote their conscience. Hey, listen. Hey, let's close out with the solidarity pledge. Do you have it, Ruth?
I do.
Oh, okay. All right. Jody. It's not on us.
Alrighty, people. At the end of all of our meetings, we close out with our solidarity pledge. Our solidarity pledge is our promise not only to each other, but to ourselves to continue to fight the good fight until we meet again. So please repeat after me. Say, I,
I,
your name,
Jody,
Brother Washington,
pledge to strive,
pledge to strive,
to love my brothers and my sisters
to love my brothers and my sisters
as I love myself.
as I love myself.
I, your name,
Brother
Jay
Washington,
Summers,
pledge to strive,
pledge to strive,
to study to improve myself
to study to improve myself
spiritually, mentally, morally, and physically, for the benefit of myself, my family, and my people. I say your name,
child of the system,
pledge to strive, to be a part of the solution,
to be a part of the solution,
the process, and not the problem.
and not the problem.
I say your name,
Brother
spoken
Washington,
truth,
pledge to strive,
pledge to
pledge
strive,
to strive,
to give all that I can spare
to
to
give
give all that I can spare
of my time,
of my
of my
time,
time,
my strength,
my strength,
my strength,
and energy
and
and
energy
energy
to achieve
to
to
achieve
achieve
the above said.
the above
the
said.
above
Now give
said.
yourself a round of
Come
applause.
on. All right. We almost had it harmonized. All
Oh,
right.
yeah. I'm so proud of you all.
Oh, man. And we're working on that. We're working on that timing.
Sorry.
Hey, listen, and as always, join us back next week, next Tuesday, 6 p.m. And as always, all lives can't matter until Black lives.
Black lives matter.
And Black lives can't matter until all Black
All
All
Black
Black
lives
lives matter.
justice or else.
Well,
Peace.
yeah.